along it. The part of the line that we're focused on because of the tornado warning is right here, just north of downtown Monroeville. And that part of the line is rotating strongly enough to warrant the issuance of a tornado warning. And they're issuing it tornado warning radar indicated. It's not been seen by anybody. It hasn't been confirmed by radar. It is radar indicated 8 miles north of Monroeville, moving east at 55 miles an hour. So that's highway speed here. This thing is moving very fast. So go ahead and zoom in even farther. And if there was a tornado with this, it would be really close to Beatrice here, south of Reddenburg, north of Monroeville, north of Burnt Corn. This is going to be right over Scotland, Keith, Tunnel Springs, and Beatrice, heading right for Midway, Mixonville, and eventually getting into northwest Butler County and rural parts of that county, but northwest Butler County nonetheless. We can go ahead and use, using our Mobile radar, our velocity product, and that would be it right there. Potential tornado right over the Keith community, very close again to Scotland and Tunnel Springs. That's your area of rotation and potential tornado embedded within a line of storms that has a severe risk with it. The line of storms itself could produce damaging winds of 60 to 70 plus miles an hour. At times within the line, you can get little mesovortices, and those can actually spin up quick tornadoes that may touch down for just a couple of minutes and then lift, and then you may get another one at a different location along the line. So that's why we're on here, a little mesovortex within the line, a little pocket of rotation within the line here. And there you have it. We can even switch different tools we have here, by the way, in the Vance Law Firm Storm Track Zone. Multiple different ways to detect rotation, multiple different ways to look into storms. And there you have it. More traditional because the location of this is slightly better in terms of where it is and where radar coverage is. The location's good enough to give us that classic green versus red velocity. Green is wind going towards the radar, and red would be away. Right over Keith right now is that area of rotation. Heading east, slightly north of east at about 55 miles an hour. Let's back out slightly and do a storm track on this, just to give you an idea of where this may be going. Should it hold together? There's some locations for you here. So it's 10:01, Beatrice 10:14, Herbert 10:39. So we're getting farther down the road here because there's really, frankly, between where it is now and where it's going, there's not a whole lot in the next 30 minutes here. Very, very rural, very rural parts of Monroe County here. But once you get closer into Butler County, you're noticing more things pop up. Greenville High School, 10:48. I-65 exit 130, which is the Greenville bypass, 10:49. Fort Dale, 10:49. Matt Crenshaw Airport there in Greenville at 10:51. Fort Deposit, 10:56. And your Fort Deposit exit 142 there on I-65 at 10:59. Now we're getting almost an hour out. That is assuming it holds together. The storm holds together. It will produce strong to damaging wind gusts, but does the tornadic aspect of the storm hold together? If it does, these are the locations that would be impacted by it down the road. We'll exit out of that. Now you know where this potential tornado is headed. It is in north central Monroe County, north of the city of Monroeville here. Your pocket of rotation is right there. I'll use the white crayon, colored pencil, whatever you want to call it here. It shows up better than the red one does. And there you go. That's your pocket of rotation. Tornado warning until 10:45. That would be for Monroe, the northern, very far northern part of Conecuh, the southeastern corner of Wilcox, and then getting into northwest Butler County. Does not formally include McKenzie, Georgiana, or Greenville. However, it's very close. It doesn't include Fort Deposit either. Northwest Butler County is a rural part of the county, but that is where this possible tornado is going. So if you're I-65 west in northern Butler County, that is where you may be impacted by a possible tornado. And if it's not a tornado on the ground, this line is still capable of strong to damaging wind gusts here. And we're following along, by the way, as we always do with our good friends, the National Weather Service. This particular area, these counties are covered by the National Weather Service in Mobile, and we are in constant contact with them. Still no confirmation of a tornado on the ground or a tornado doing damage, but I can tell you that signature there does certainly suggest a possible tornado with this particular storm. The reds and the greens going up against each other. We can use shear rate, another tool here, not off the charts. Go ahead and get rid of the tornado warning text. Not off the charts there, but it does show up. The dark green is our generic color here. And then you've got the lighter greens, almost yellows. That is where you see some weak rotation showing up using our rotation detector or shear rate, whatever you want to call it. Wind shear is pretty much rotation. And you're seeing double boxes on your screen right now. You've got me in the Vance Law Firm Storm Track Zone covering the tornado warned storm. And we've got a view in Leader-Hatchie, I believe, and they'll get in my ear. I-65 heading south. This is Brandon Kopic, correct? Correct. Brandon Kopic from Ohio, good friend of ours, helpful storm chaser, very trained, very good at what he does, and he is out on I-65 now. You can see it is raining. Windshield wipers are going pretty quick. He, being in Leader-Hatchie, would be headed toward Fort Deposit and Greenville, which would be to get out ahead of this particular storm. So you're seeing not ideal, less than ideal situation on I-65 in the sense that it's raining, it's wet, it's not fun to be out there, but he's not in a dangerous situation at this point in Leader-Hatchie. Lowndes County doesn't have a warning out right now, but it's still not fun. Conditions there. That's what most of our viewing area, by the way, that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have rain. It's going to be coming down quite heavily in many places. You're going to have thunder, lightning, strong gusty winds, and you see he's starting to freeze up every now and then. Of course, being on live stream out on I-65 in Leader-Hatchie and in other parts of the state in that area, you may start to see less than ideal cell phone service, which can result in kind of stops and goes with live streams. So we'll jump back in with him when we need to and whenever we can, because that will provide us what is happening on the ground. But right now, as he heads toward Brandon Kopic, their storm chaser, headed toward, in all likelihood, this storm to get out ahead of it. A storm that is rotating, a storm that has prompted a tornado warning for parts of Monroe, southeastern Wilcox, northern Conecuh, and northwestern Butler County. We'll go back. We have our mobile radar clicked on, our reflectivity here, and this is what we call a bow echo. This is a squall line, a line of storms, and embedded within this, where you see this bow shape, some strong to damaging winds of 60 to 70 plus miles an hour, and at times, embedded in a line like this, you can get rotation or pockets of rotation that can produce quick tornadoes, and that's why this tornado warning was issued. Does not include Monroeville, does not include Georgiana, does not include Greenville, does not include Vredenburg, but it does include, as we go back in and watch this area of rotation here, we'll get as close in as we can. Right now, it's over Tunnel Springs, Scotland, Natchez, Beatrice. Is over you right now. You need to be in your tornado safe place if you haven't already gotten there. If you're in this tornado warning and your phone went off, you need to be in your tornado safe place now and do not come out until the warning is expired. Even if a tornado doesn't come through your neighborhood or doesn't impact you, if this storm doesn't produce a single tornado, the damaging wind threat with this storm is still significant. 60 to 70 mile an hour winds are very much possible as this storm continues to push east and slightly north of east very, very fast. So it is impacting right now Tunnel Springs, Natchez, Scotland, Beatrice, and will continue to lift east and northeast very fast. Midway, just south of Pineapple. However, Pineapple, you look to be in that warning just barely. I would stay or get to, if you're not yet, that tornado safe place. If you are in Pineapple, Midway, Herbert, we are getting there into the Butler County area there. I would get into your safe place and stay there. If you are not yet, because this storm is not only going to be capable of producing a tornado, but it's going to be capable of some very strong to perhaps damaging straight line winds. And that is why we are on the air. The risk of damaging winds, and right now with this particular part of the line, a risk of tornadoes. Let's see. Strongest part of the Monroe cell quickly approaching Beatrice and Tunnel Springs. Circulation increasing in the storm north of Greenville. Tornado warning coming. North of Greenville would be this particular storm. If he's referring to Jason Beeman down at the National Weather Service in Mobile, if he is referring to the Greenville in Alabama, that would be for Butler County. But we'll have to wait and see. There it is, tornado warning. Butler and Crenshaw County until 10:45. So those in the back, if you want to add Crenshaw County to that tornado warning list on the bottom of the screen there, storm capable of producing a tornado 5 miles south of Lowndes County Airport or 5 miles north of Greenville. That one's also moving at 55 miles an hour. Now we've got two separate tornado warning polygons, and the city of Greenville, you need to be in your tornado safe place. If you haven't already gotten there at this point, you're splitting hairs right between the two warning polygons. Greenville and pretty much the northern half of Butler County, you need to be in your tornado safe place. We'll go to that second storm here. We'll use the Maxwell radar. That may give us a slightly better look at this storm. There you have it, north of Greenville, just south there of Fort Deposit. And this is a more classic storm. Look at that, out ahead of the main line, a hook on this storm. And that could certainly, yeah, look at that. Wow, that is the strongest rotation we've seen yet today between Greenville and Fort Deposit along I-65. Get off the interstate if you're on the interstate. If you know someone on I-65, they're headed south toward Mobile from Montgomery, or if they're coming toward Montgomery from Mobile and their commute takes them through Butler County, tell them to get off the interstate now. That is the most impressive looking circulation we've seen today between Greenville and Fort Deposit. That would be a possible tornado. It is being labeled as radar indicated. There are no confirmations yet of this one or the tornado warned storm coming out of Monroe County. There are no confirmations that a tornado is on the ground, but that is some impressive rotation. Look at the shear rate showing up on that one. That by far is the most impressive we've seen with our rotation detector yet. Right on, and it couldn't get any more squarely on I-65 here between Greenville and Fort Deposit, the northern part of the county, Butler County there, far northern Butler County, and this is going to be pushing east-northeast. So what's going to happen here is this possible tornado is going to ride right along the Lowndes-Butler County line, and then you get close to where Lowndes, Montgomery, Crenshaw, and Butler all come together here. Right now, there's no formal warning for Lowndes or southern Montgomery. It's northern Crenshaw, northeastern Butler, but depending on exactly how this moves, it's going to get close to far southeastern Lowndes and Montgomery counties. There you go. Thank you. Getting that alert from in my ear here with a lot going on. It helps to have multiple eyes, ears, and everything out there. Circulation tightening from John DeBlock at the National Weather Service in Birmingham. So they have gone ahead and issued a tornado warning for, it looks like Bullock, Lowndes, Montgomery until 11 o'clock. So we've got 3 active tornado warnings. Those in the back, you already are aware of that, but Bullock, Montgomery, Lowndes can be added now to the long list of counties that are already showing up at the bottom of your screen. So what do we have? We have one storm that has very strong rotation between Fort Deposit and Greenville, possible tornado associated with that one. Still no confirmation, but pretty strong rotation there. And then that right there in far northeastern Monroe County. Those are our 2 potential tornadoes, potential problems. This one is out ahead of the main line and may pose more of a tornado threat because it's not being ingested into the line of storms. It's out by itself. It has a better environment. The one back in Monroe County, though, still has rotation with it and could produce a tornado at any point. As a result, what we have here highlighted in flashing red are the active tornado warnings. So if you're in north and northeastern Monroe County, the far southeastern corner of Wilcox, far northern Conecuh, the northern half of Butler, far southeastern Lowndes, northern Crenshaw, the southern half of Montgomery, and far eastern Bullock. I know that was a lot, but we have multiple counties that are under a tornado warning at this point. That's why we're on the air. It is 10:12, and we aren't going anywhere until all of our counties are clear of any sort of tornado warning. These storms are in an environment that would support a tornado, and if not, damaging straight line winds. We've got 2 separate storms. One, we'll turn on our reflectivity. You've got one out ahead of the main line, and this is a problem. And in fact, this one down here near McKenzie could also become an issue here. These storms out by themselves, out ahead of the main line, and you can see a clear hook echo on that storm between Greenville and Fort Deposit. This has prompted a tornado warning. It includes Fort Deposit, Raymer, far northern Crenshaw County, Highland Home would be included in that. Then you have this possible tornado embedded within the line. See this little kink right here? That is along a line of storms that is strong to severe, and in that kink could be a possible tornado. And Josh, joining me now here, helping us out. We've got a bunch going on, I'd say. We tried to get breakfast in again, but clearly that's not happening. Not going to happen. No, we may just have to punt and go to lunch here. So 2 tornado warnings that cover a lot of real estate, but it's really mainly 2 storms that are causing all of these warnings for all of these different counties. You've got the one individual cell here coming in on Fort Deposit and northern Crenshaw, southern Montgomery County. Then, as Tyler mentioned, see that little kink in the line right there, almost an S shape. That's the other problem child here. Do we have Brandon's feed still? He was on I-65. Storm chaser Brandon Kopic was southbound heading down into this lead storm here. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that back up for you momentarily. He will be heading right into that momentarily. So He was south of Leadahachie at last check, so he should be there.
He should be pretty close to it, if not there. Yeah, he may be a tick behind it, but
this is
Tyler going to pop us up our storm relative velocity. Yeah, there's rotation there. It's as Tyler's kind of mentioned, it's more pronounced than a lot of what we've seen earlier in the day, but I still... Is there a tornado there or not? We don't know. We can't call it a confirmed tornado. I would suggest to you this is a possible tornado. If we can, let's take Brandon's feed full here. We'll take you to I-65 southbound. This would be down near Fort Deposit. So we're talking about the Butler County storm. Fort Deposit, of course, sits on the Lowndes-Butler County line. This storm is coming out of northeastern Butler County, moving east-northeast. This will clip the far southeastern tip of Lowndes County, and then from there head on up into northern Crenshaw and south Montgomery County. Should the rotation hold together, we'll have to maintain that tornado warning into Montgomery County. If the rotation weakens any, the Weather Service, Tyler, could step in and cancel that warning. It will all depend on what the storm does.
Right, but for now, we'll go ahead and go with what we know now, and that is a tornado warning. Yes, safe place if you're in one of these tornado warnings. Safe place, and stay there until you have some sort of reliable source that tells you the tornado warning has been canceled. As we know now, multiple counties, and they're all listed there for you. Not the entirety of all those counties, but parts of all those counties under a tornado warning. So it looks like Brandon is now in Butler County. And
so he just crossed the line there. So he's southbound on Interstate 65.
He would be very close to
Storm chaser Brandon Kopic. He'll be coming right on, kind of on the back side of it. The rotation is very close to US 31, which is a few miles east of Interstate 65 as it relates to this storm. So the possible tornado in this would be just south of Sandy Ridge, very near Flatwoods. Movement here towards the east-northeast. So this is going to clip northern Crenshaw County. If you live near Highland Home School, if you live along Alabama Highway 97 that runs back up north to Davenport, if you live along US 331 near Magnolia Shores, Sardis, if you live on the north end of Honoraville, if you live up into South Montgomery County around Sellers and Raymer, if you live near Dunbar-Raymer School, if you live near the WSFA transmission tower, our big tower out there in South Montgomery County, get into that tornado safe place, lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet, because this is a potentially life-threatening situation with a possible tornado here coming out of Butler County. Tyler, show us a couple of things here. The shear rate, this is the Barron-derived product, still suggesting rotation, very close to where Butler, Lowndes, and Montgomery come together. Check the CC as well. Make sure we don't have any type of a tornado debris signature. At this point, I would suggest no, we probably don't. But we'll let the National Weather Service sort of be our eyes and ears on that as well. They'll be able to kind of help guide that process there.
And this is coming out of Maxwell. I believe this is going to give us,
that'll be the best
with
look.
This storm,
absolutely the best look. So, no, that looks like an artifact from earlier. I don't think that's quite a couplet or quite a debris signature in there at that point.
Hard to tell, yeah.
We can pop velocity back up, and I'll do a quick storm track on this.
We'll do a storm relative. I think that does it best, yeah.
It sure does, yep. So east-northeast. We set it around 50. Was that the idea?
50 to 55 is the reports we're getting.
All righty. So here's some landmarks and the general time of arrival. We've already named a bunch of these, but Sandy Ridge within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Then after 10:30, up into Montgomery County. So this would be Dunbar-Raymer School, Raymer, Matthews, Hector, Macon East, Fitzpatrick, and then eventually Fitzpatrick and Hardaway, more over into parts of Macon County and northwestern Bullock County. That would be a long time from now, though. And will it still be rotating by then? We don't know. But the areas formerly in the tornado warning polygon: Sandy Ridge in about 5 minutes, arrival at Dunbar-Raymer School in about 20 minutes. So the Raymer community, Alabama Highway 94 cuts through that part of the state. If you live along Highway 94 near Dunbar-Raymer School on up towards Matthews, this will be the next 30 to 45 minutes for you. And then downstream from there, if it were to hold together, we would get this into more of Montgomery County and parts of Macon County. We'll zoom in a little bit there and take the storm track off the screen. There it is, Tyler.
That's definitely, I mean, considering where we are radar-wise, that's not a terrible spot. It's not the best, but you're getting pretty good coverage there. I would say that at some point, can't rule out that storm producing a tornado. With it being out ahead of the main line, that would increase its chance of producing a tornado. And right now, that circulation is firmly Josh, out of Butler. So that is now firmly near Sandy Ridge and Flatwoods in southeastern Lowndes County, clipping kind of that little appendage in northern Crenshaw County before jumping into southern Montgomery. So Greenville, you're in this tornado warning, but you've also got another storm coming. So, you know, Butler County, you've got 2 tornado warnings that are in effect for different parts of the county. Stay in your safe place regardless of which warning you're under, because the Butler County tornado warning, that storm is in the Lowndes, but there's another storm coming. So Greenville, points north of Greenville, Fort Deposit, that storm that's behind coming out of Monroe, that could also be an issue. So stay in your safe place. And, of course, northern Crenshaw and the good chunk of southern Montgomery into Bullock. Stay in your safe place if you're in that polygon. And
we'll note this will pass south of the city of Montgomery. This possible tornado here, the tornado warning includes southern Montgomery County and eastern Montgomery County. It does not include any part of the city of Montgomery. So this will stay south of the city of Montgomery, the major population center there in Montgomery County, obviously, and the state capital. So this goes south of there, back over more of central and south central Montgomery County, far northern Crenshaw, far, far, far northwest or northeastern Butler County. And I think, Tyler, within the next 5 minutes, we'll probably be able to clear Butler out of this. And then by 10:30, I think we'd be able to clear Lowndes out of this. So pretty soon, this will be into exclusively Montgomery County in about 10 or 15 minutes. So until we get to that point, though, far northern part of Crenshaw, get in that tornado safe place and stay there. So let's zoom in really close here. So here is your possible tornado right here, very close to Flatwoods and Panola. From there, it is moving towards the east-northeast. So this is going to head up towards Davenport. This is State Route 97 right here that runs from Highland Home. It cuts over, back over to Davenport. Then you've got eventually US 331 running back north here. That's Sellers, Naftal, Strata, and Ada. This would be Fleta over here. Raymer is over here. Dunbar-Raymer School sits out here. The big WSFA tall tower is not too far down the road either. So those are some of the communities and smaller landmarks there in South Montgomery County. If you live in these communities or near these communities, go ahead and get into that tornado safe place, lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. Then back to the west, Tyler, more trouble with this pocket of rotation here. This is still in Monroe County, but the way it's tracking, this is heading towards Butler. Yeah, and they just did, Jason Beeman did say it's broad, that storm that's east of Beatrice, but the environment suggests it could reorganize very quickly, so they're going to maintain that tornado warning for parts of Wilcox, Monroe, Conecuh, and Butler. And as we've seen, Josh, we got off the air, and in a matter of, 2-3 minutes, a storm became very intense, very fast. So this environment, it's possible as a storm goes over you, it's not severe, but then in a matter of 5 miles, it becomes severe. It is, yeah. And thankfully, we've done a lot of coverage today. We have not yet heard of actual damage anywhere in our TV area. Now, we've had some reports of damage near Coffeyville over in Clark County. A tree down on the Camden bypass, but EMA Director Melissa Dove told us that that was likely a weakened tree from last week's tornado. So far, so good, but, you know, past results are no indicator of future performance, as they tell you in the financial sector. So same advice applies here. Pay attention to this one, South Montgomery County, far, and I mean far northern Crenshaw. If you live at anywhere south of about Fuller's Crossroads Volunteer Fire Department, which is the landmark right out here, if you live south of Fuller's Crossroads, this goes north of you, this specific storm. There are more back to the west you may contend with later, but this one goes north of you. This would be very near Highland Home. So we'll zoom back in, broad, kind of elongated pocket of rotation here. This is Flatwoods right here. Here's Bowden Road, and here's County Road 11, and there's Davenport Highway. That's Alabama Highway 97. This is going to go near there. A little north of Meriwether Trail, east of Davenport. So, or east of Davenport Highway, I should say, south of the community of Davenport. So those are some of the kind of local communities in the path of this. And Tyler, can you pop reflectivity back up on the screen for us? And it looks like, Josh, that storm I was talking about, too, we might have to watch that in southern Butler, by the way. That was also by itself. Yeah, there it is down there by itself. So here's what will happen in the course of the next hour or two. This line is going to overtake these individual storms. And the line itself will pose a risk of severe weather as it pushes on down through Andalusia, Opp, and South Alabama. The good news, Demopolis, you're done. Selma, the risk of severe weather has ended for you. Marion, Uniontown, Camden, Faunsdale, Nanophilia out here in Marengo County, you're done. Billingsley, Clanton, the risk of severe weather has ended. It's all south and east of there. And I think Tyler's used that landmark, U.S. Highway 80. That's going to be right on the money. It is going to stay, I think, the main severe weather risk today is south of Highway 80. And I think it is maximized literally right now. This is in my opinion, this is the peak of this event. Where we have both the line itself to contend with and a couple of individual storms out ahead of that line. So this is the peak of it. Once the line overtakes these individual storms, conditions will start to improve, but it's going to take some time. Yeah, and we've got, in all likelihood, few more hours still before the severe threat ends for everyone. We've got, that's very impressive. That's tightening up. That is definitely tightening up. And even up in Birmingham, they said that storm has a very good presentation. So nothing on our debris detector, but we always say, that is delayed a little bit. Yep. If the tornado debris is being sampled by the radar beam thousands of feet above the ground, that means the tornado has already been on the ground. We try to give you a heads up. We're telling you right now, rotation is intensifying and tightening up along the Crenshaw, Montgomery County line. If you live at Highland Home, Naftal, Sellers, Ada, Fleta, Davenport, get to that tornado safe place right now. Lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. Take this one seriously. We can't confirm a tornado yet, but based on the signature we're seeing on a bunch of different radar sources, we think it's becoming increasingly likely that we're going to unfortunately contend with a tornado. It looks like they just issued a new tornado warning for the storm on the southern side of all this. That storm that's in southern Butler. Looks like new tornado warning for that. Yep, there it is. Wow. Yeah, good call on that one. You saw that one. So we've got 3 tornado warnings, but 2 are cells out ahead of the line that, Josh, I would arguably say are the most concerning at this point. And probably the most concerning of the whole day. Right. But don't let that make you think the line that's behind it won't produce damaging winds. It can. And spin up tornadoes. But the threat of a tornado is highest right now with these 2 storms out ahead of the main line. And, boy, that's a messy trying to decipher who's under what and for how long. But if you are looking at your phone and you see tornado warning, whether it be from a wireless emergency alert, your First Alert weather app, and you know you're under a tornado warning, you need to be in your safe place now. And alert someone if you know they're in one and maybe they don't have a way of getting information. If you're in one of these flashing red polygons, or if your phone's telling you you're under a tornado warning, stay in your safe place. That new tornado warning, by the way, is for a supercell about 8 miles east of Georgiana in Butler County. That is also radar indicated for now. But that has some impressive rotation here, Josh. Due south of Greenville, a good ways south of Greenville, east of Georgiana there. So 2 separate storms ahead of the main line. Here's the southern one there. That would be near Industry, Pigeon Creek. That's Highway 106 right there. Yeah, moving east-northeast at 50 miles an hour. So this is going to head over Pigeon Creek, and then from there head towards Laverne, Rutledge, Fuller's Crossroads, and Petrie. So First Alert heads up here, Crenshaw County. You've got a possible tornado right now up near Highland Home. That's the first storm. A second storm has formed south of there, back here into Butler County. It's near Industry and Pigeon Creek right now. So if you live here in eastern Butler County, get into that tornado safe place. And the way this tracks, this heads right across the central part of Crenshaw County, including the city of Laverne. So if you live at Laverne, Rutledge, Fuller's Crossroads, Centenary, Center Ridge, Petrie, you are in the tornado warning polygon. Now is the time to take protective action. Lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, closet. If you live in a mobile home, you've got time to get out, and you need to do just that. Get to the closest site-built structure you can find and take shelter there. Tyler, I think you got an update there from the National Weather Service. The good news is we'll clear the tornado warning that's coming out of Monroe County into northwest Butler, so that will help clear up the scene a little bit on radar. That is a damaging wind threat at this point for the most part with the line coming into Butler. That tornado warning polygon will be cleared shortly. But the 2 storms, supercell storms out ahead of the line, are both tornado warned because they could produce tornadoes at any point. And the main line behind these 2 storms that we are currently tracking will have the potential to produce damaging winds. Even if the tornado threat is much lower with the line itself, damaging winds are serious. So this flashing red polygon will be gone soon, and you'll be left with the 2 storms out ahead of the main line. See if we see anything.
Staring
We're
right
looking
at
for
it.
tornado debris, by the way, guys, watching at home. So I don't see anything that just jumps off the charts there at us. Again, a lot of times we defer to the National Weather Service. They're doing kind of dedicated analysis, looking for just that one thing. So
those in the back, if you're looking for the lower third there at the bottom of the screen, you can drop Monroe, Conecuh, and Wilcox from that tornado warning. Yes.
So you've got a possible tornado here. Well, you have a possible tornado here along the Crenshaw-Montgomery County line. You have another possible tornado here in Butler County due south of downtown Greenville.
Both textbook-looking supercells as well, Josh. I think this would be our, by far, biggest tornado risk of the rest of the day.
What's that bear and shear rate doing?
Very impressive on the northern one.
Yeah, the northern one's strongest of the two. We'll go back into our storm relative here, see what we see.
That's very tight, I would say, in terms of what it's looked like so far. That is about a few pixels, both red and green. Green going towards the radar, red would be going away. A couple pixels, and when you're looking for a tornado to form, you like rotation, you want to see it like this. Right. Very tight, very small together like this. We've had broad rotation so far today, but this is certainly on the tighter side of things, and that goes until, by the way, if you're in Montgomery County, 11 o'clock, that tornado warning does
for
southern Montgomery County, correct.
Yeah, this does not include the city of Montgomery. So if you are in the city of Montgomery, this specific storm is going to stay south of you. National Weather Service still saying radar indicating possible tornado near Sellers. That's 11 miles west of Meadville, moving northeast at 50. So that's it right there, right along Hickory Grove Road, guys. So this is going to cross US 331 within the next 5 minutes near Boyd Springs Road. So this is West Hickory Grove Road. Then East Hickory Grove Road curves out that way. That's a pretty, as this part of the road goes, a decent-sized intersection. There is your possible tornado approaching Boyd Springs Road and US 331 now around Ada and Sellers. So if you live at Ada or Sellers or Strata, you have to take cover now. Lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you possibly can as we track this possible tornado here. Tyler, I think we're pretty close to being able to clear this storm out of Crenshaw. Now, we've got the other one coming, so we can't give the whole county an all clear, but this Highland Home area, I think another 5 minutes we'll be able to give Highland Home some reassurance about this storm as it will be out of the county. Then we'll turn our attention. That's starting to tighten up too.
Yeah, that's definitely. Both of these are radar indicated. But Josh, we've both seen plenty of circulations with severe thunderstorms, and they both look impressive, I would say.
Healthy, certainly healthy circulations right now. Check the CC again, make sure we're still not seeing anything.
That might,
let's animate it and
play on that one. Yeah. I can't
just
really
right around the R.
Yeah,
so what we need to do now is stop the animation.
Right near the R.
Yeah, go back to reflectivity too.
Okay, so it's.
Yeah, so that's not debris. That's not tornado debris.
That's good news. So with this correlation coefficient or debris detector, we're not really seeing. Let's go ahead and clear it. There we go. Yep. We're not seeing anything.
It can happen at any moment, though.
Exactly.
Both of these, I think, are storms that have the potential to drop a tornado at any moment now. So, thankfully, we don't see debris yet, but that could change momentarily. They're both, the bear and shear rate is both up in the strong range. So, these are storms that could be producing tornadoes. Let's do this, too. Let's see if we get any skits out of these. So, this storm up here, the BTI on it, 3.8, not overwhelming, but you go up above 4, 4.5, it's certainly feasible that this is producing a tornado. And we'll go to this storm. It has a BTI of 4.3, a little higher as it moves in. Now, the BTI, if you're new to that, is the Barron Tornado Index. It's a number, you see 1 or 2, not terribly concerned. You see 3 or 4, you're concerned. You start getting up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're almost certainly dealing with a tornado, and we're flirting with that. We're not there yet. A BTI of 4.3 is still, I would put it in the tornado possible kind of wording here. Can't confirm it yet.
See if we see any of our Barron technology indicators of rotation, which we're obviously able to tell with ourselves, with the rotation detector, but Barron's technology here is reinforcing that fact. that you've definitely got rotation indicators there, shear markers.
Leave that TDS on, by the way.
Okay.
Our friends at Barron Services, they have renovated and redone their TDS, tornado debris signature algorithm. So they have made it better. So we are going to leave it up on the screen to see if it triggers and pops. This is our first severe weather event with that new technology. We're going to unveil it officially very soon, but we're happy to report that we have it available to us now. Speaking of new technology, pop into national there. Let's hit power outages quickly, see what we're looking at there. We have the ability to show you. Yeah, let's do state. So power outages across the state. Looks like so far so good. In Alabama, we're at about 7,000. Mississippi, around 15,000. I will say this line of storms back down here has done more wind damage, and that obviously creates more power outages. So the Mississippi up to 15,000 outages. Alabama still at 7,000.
This counties here.
Another piece of new technology.
So yeah, that would be right where the line has pushed through too. So these aren't just random. Some of them are. Jefferson County might be a little bit of random toward Birmingham, but there's some thunder here at the studio. Looks like Wilcox and Clark, which you would expect based off of what they've already seen. So power outage wise, there you have it. Let's go back in to reflectivity and take a look here. Josh, these two storms are very, very classic supercells.
Sort of textbook look there. The good news, if there is any, the line is racing east. It will overtake these within the hour. So this is one of these kind of, if we can just get through the next hour without anything bad happening, I think our odds go way up after 11:30. Once this line overtakes those storms, the odds of you having a kind of a big, ugly, mean situation start to go down. Check out the storm relative, see how that looks.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that. Still both
Still
rotating?
There. You know, it's not the most impressive rotation you'll ever see, but it's certainly, again, I would maintain the wording that a tornado is possible now. This one down here is approaching the county line. So this is Butler County. This is Crenshaw County. Red is outbound, green is inbound. So the radar's up here. So the net movement there is a general broad counterclockwise circulation right over the county line. This is moving towards the east-northeast. So this is going to go on up and cross Alabama 10 out here, close to Rutledge, close to Centenary, and then head on up towards Fuller's Crossroads. So we'll get even closer in on this. So this is Alabama Highway 10, a.k.a. the Greenville Highway, County Road 40, Centenary Road, County Road 11, Moody's Crossroads Road, County Road 1, back down towards Watley Crossing Road. It's close to there now, along with Cedar Tree Road and the county line. The county line is probably the thing this is closest to right now. And when I say county line, I'm talking about Butler on this side and Crenshaw on this side. This is the southern circulation. Unfortunately for us, we have two that we are tracking. The northern one now, I would say, Tyler, exclusively in Montgomery County at this point. So
yeah, that the northern tip of Crenshaw is most definitely done
clear
with
from that.
Yeah.
That, frankly, does not look as strong as it did.
Which is good news. It
It's
might
great
be
news.
heading toward or getting
Cooler,
closer to a less
stable
favorable
air.
environment. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they Birmingham will not let that ride the entire time. Their office philosophy is very aggressive when it comes to canceling tornado warnings for storms that aren't rotating. Now, we're not there yet. If you live in Montgomery County, you need to stay in that safe place. But so far, so good. The southern cell, I would suggest, has the more concerning set of circumstances right now. So take cover, southern Montgomery County, south of downtown. So we'll just do a quick one on this one. Raymer, Ada, Canty, Matthews, Dunbar, US 231 near the 82 split, US 331, right around Highway 94, down in that part of the county. Stay in that safe place. Lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. And then this storm, Tyler, I think this one was the one that has the majority of our concern right now.
Yeah, that one has tightened up a bit here. It has looked good the entire time. But that is very impressive. And when we look for couplets like this, by the way, the brighter the reds and greens are, so you know, you're very bright green like you see there, and if the reds go from kind of a dark to a bright, so the brighter the green like you have here, and some of the reds, if those get brighter, that's a tighter circulation, a stronger circulation. You've got your, you know, going up against each other. You've got 32-mile-an-hour winds going one way, 68-mile-an-hour winds going the other way. You know, you like to see both sides get a little higher than 30. 32 is a little low, but that doesn't mean you can't produce a tornado. When you get up, if both sides were producing, right,
and you don't like it,
but
it's more clear.
Exactly. It's not the strongest you'll see. It's not the strongest Alabama has ever seen, not even close.
Right.
But that is getting close enough to where a tornado could certainly be produced at any point.
Right along the county line, right along Cedar Tree Road, Watley Crossing Road, approaching Highway 10, approaching County Road 40, approaching the Centenary community.
Still moving northeast at 50. They're just continuing it as radar indicated for Butler and Crenshaw. Continuing the warning. Birmingham is saying that storm in southern Montgomery is still rotating and the potential is there, but it's looking sloppy. I would agree.
I would, especially, this is just a big mess, yeah. So you really, as you get up into Montgomery County, the air is much more stable here. So again, we're not saying this is over in Montgomery County. We're not saying that. Please, if you live in the tornado warning polygon in Montgomery County, stay in that safe place. But we do think as the morning goes on, the risk of severe weather will begin to steadily decrease in Montgomery County, and it is possible they end up having to cancel that tornado warning soon. Then down to the south, you've got this one. This storm kind of still out alone, but Tyler, it won't be much longer. The way that line is moving, we'll get a better look at it here probably. But the way that this line is racing to the coast now, you're going to catch that storm pretty quick, I think.
I think it will catch it, yeah. Like
Within
you said, about 11:30 at the latest for that storm that's out ahead of it. Both of those storms, for that matter. And once the line catches up, what happens is they get ingested into the line and the tornado threat goes down. That doesn't mean it goes away.
It
Yeah,
goes
exactly.
down. Yeah, that's an important distinction to make. Sometimes we can put too fine a point on it. So we don't want to do that. We just want to stress to you that we also like to give you the honest appraisal of the situation, and that's what we see right now.
And I would say that storm getting closer to 331 in Crenshaw, that there's going to be some hail out ahead of it, and then once the rotation...
That's the strongest.
Let's check a few things. Anyway. Let's check. That's very messy, arguably.
Pop it out and animate it, see if it looks... looks suspicious, didn't it?
That right there looked a little suspicious. I haven't seen anything in terms of a conversation or going back and forth here with the National Weather Service. They haven't said much. Sometimes they like to talk out their thoughts, but I haven't seen anything yet. They might be watching it and want to check on a couple of these other things.
Reflectivity quick.
Sure.
Let's see what that looks like. It's hard to say. I wish we would have seen it in that precise moment where we could have lined it up with the reflectivity and seen, made sure it was in the right spot of the storm, structurally speaking. But yeah, there very well could be a tornado on the ground right now in Crenshaw County. Yeah. We're not 100% sure yet on that, but I would urge you in Crenshaw County, treat this as if it's on the ground. This would be on the, right now, the west side of Luverne. The way it's moving, though, this is going to go right across Centenary. There's County Road 40. There's Alabama Highway 10. So this is crossing 10 right now. And then from there, it heads on towards County Road 40, Centenary Road. And then eventually this will cross 331 just north of downtown Rutledge. So here's Rutledge, here's Luverne. Hook's Barbecue sits right here. So this would be kind of the heart of downtown Luverne up here. And then back over here would be Rutledge. So you've got that tornado warning. That runs until 11:15 for Butler County as a result of all of this. Severe thunderstorm warning back off to the west. Part of the same whole set of circumstances there. As you look back in that direction. But, Tyler, that's some pretty intense rotation that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and our shear detector or rotation detector with this is certainly showing the same thing. Multiple ways to show the same type of thing. So we can kind of cross many boxes off. With all the technology we have, we can look at so many different things to give you an idea of what we see and why you should, take shelter, why you need to seek shelter. We're not just saying this for no reason. Multiple things are suggesting there could be a tornado on the ground in Crenshaw County.
And Tyler, the Barron engineers who wrote this algorithm, they talked to us a good bit about whenever you see this show up, that's one thing they noticed in the data as they were writing this algorithm. When you start to see the S shape show up, that can often be indicative of a tornado that's just about to drop from the sky or is on the ground. So we urge you to take this seriously. In Crenshaw County, potentially life-threatening situation with a tornado possibly on the ground here west of Rutledge coming up on Centenary right now. We'll move the map ahead a little bit here. And I don't like that thing. Wish we could get rid of it.
It is a pain.
So that's your possible tornado right now. Very strong wind within that velocity couplet as well. We'll do a quick, we call it gate-to-gate analysis. Essentially, it just shows us how strong the rotation is. Here you see outbound at 22 miles an hour, inbound at 74. So you're still right there around that 95 to 100 mile per hour gate-to-gate scenario there with some of those bends.
I wonder where we are here, geographically speaking. Would it do us any good to check the Fort Rucker radar? Might
Probably
be a little too far. Wouldn't hurt.
No, I think it might be good.
Yeah, that's definitely showing up still, even, and this might be slightly farther, but you're getting the same picture here. Shear rate very much there. Reflectivity, almost donut looking. Yeah. Let's go back to Maxwell, which, by the way, the National Weather Service in Birmingham did say that the rotation is loosening. We don't want to ignore the storm that's up to the north here in southern Montgomery County. Go ahead. There's your tornado warning into Bullitt County as well. Yeah, the rotation much more on the broad side.
Still, as a course of least regret, if you live near the 82 split, go through that tornado safety plan. Lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet, just in case. Autauga County, the threat just about over there.
It's good news, and they canceled Dallas and Perry, by the way.
Dallas and Perry County, you're all done. The threat of severe weather has ended.
That's good news. We like to see that.
So 2 tornado warnings, one for Montgomery County, the other one down here. This one, far and away, we think is the more dangerous storm at this moment, so we are choosing to invest most of our time on it. If you're watching us in Montgomery County, please understand we are not ignoring you or your storm. We think this one has a more threatening posture. We think it is far more likely to be producing a tornado at this moment. We will continue to update you in Montgomery County, though, so don't go anywhere. We'll kind of just bounce back and forth here, but we have to dedicate a lot of our time to this storm because of the intense rotation that's showing up within it. Still a messy signature there. We'll go to the reflectivity.
I wonder if it's going through a cycling stage almost.
Could be.
Where, you're losing slightly. I don't want to say completely, but you're starting to close off some of the inflow here a little bit. It will
eventually. If it's not happening yet, it will soon.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that line's going to catch it too. So, still showing up as very strong rotation without a doubt. Shear rate is still very much.
Pop back and forth between SRV and reflectivity, if you don't mind, a couple of times. I just want to make sure. Okay. Just wanted to make sure we weren't getting that. The brightness of the inbound pixels, you almost wonder about some side lobe contamination, but I don't think that's not the case.
That looks pretty.
With where that's located, I think that's probably legitimate. It's tough to say in real time sometimes. Hit that reflectivity one more time. Yeah, it's
there.
Co-located with some pretty bright reflectivity values. So I think that's probably real data. That's probably not the side lobe contamination. That's weather geek speak for the radar kind of misreading the storm. We're kind of trained on how to look at that and pick up on that. So we try to make sure that's not the case. So strong evidence of rotation now, just west of downtown Luverne, west of Rutledge on the south end of the Centenary community. Here you see it right here. We'll zoom you in. If we have a tornado, it's right here near County Road 40 and Centenary Road. Movement here east-northeast. So this is going to cut across the north end of Rutledge, the north end of Luverne. There's Airport Road right out there. The rodeo would be right out here. This is 331 running you back north. Here's Fuller's Crossroads. The Volunteer Fire Department sits right up here, kind of close to the banner there. Your possible tornado would be back down here. What are you seeing, Tyler?
Everything you just said. Possible tornado in this area, and you just need to stay in your safe place. Do not leave it if you're in the northern half of Crenshaw County, give or take roughly. From Luverne northward, stay in your safe place. Same with Montgomery and Bullitt County. Stay in your safe place until the warning is allowed to expire, until we tell you there's a new update. We can clear Butler now from the tornado warning at the bottom of your screen. Bullitt, Montgomery, and Crenshaw now. Butler was canceled. They continue as radar indicated. Was near Rutledge. Moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. That is definitely fast. So you do not have much time to react ahead of this. If you're in Crenshaw County, north of Luverne, Luverne is now technically out of the tornado warning polygon. The heart of Luverne is. It's the north side of the city and heading up 331 toward Highland Home is where that tornado warning is in effect. If you're in this polygon, continue to shelter, stay in your safe place. We are watching a potential tornado here in Montgomery County, same thing. Some concern for the broad rotation just north of Montgomery. Interesting. Want to check that out? Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do that north of Montgomery. So this is not a storm that is currently warned, but reflectivity, yeah, there is a line that is coming into Montgomery right now, Josh, some torrential rain, and they're saying just north of Montgomery, and you do see a slight little notch there. They are mentioning, the National Weather Service, some concern about it, some damaging wind potential. Still no
That's what I was about
warning.
to say. Even if there's no tornado there, I think your damaging wind potential is starting to go up. And check out the
let's pull up
that camera full if we could.
Looking south right now.
So pouring rain now, downtown Montgomery. Not a fun day to be out and about. If you don't have to drive, don't. Now, the good news from Montgomery, this is it. This is the line right here. Once this line clears the city of Montgomery, the risk of severe weather will end. And we think that is going to happen sooner rather than later for Montgomery. And Tyler, for the city of Montgomery, I think by 11:15 to 11:30, we're almost certainly done with this whole thing. For the city of Montgomery, for the county, it will take a little bit longer. So
I would agree with that. Absolutely. Some very heavy rain here, and our shear rate is showing up with that part of the line in Elmore and far northern Montgomery. That would just indicate that the storms themselves are strong, capable of some strong wind, maybe pushing severe limits. No formal warning right now.
That wind is really
you
going
can hear it
crazy
here
outside right now.
This is the first time I've heard it doing that.
Let's get the ASU camera up on the board here. So this is the HealthStar Camera Network. You're looking out over ASU, and it is rocking and rolling out there right now. You're getting pretty intense, powerful wind gusts now coming into the city of Montgomery. This is part of that line, this line of storms. We have been focusing a lot on the tornado threat because we think there is a potentially life-threatening situation there in Crenshaw County, which, by the way, heads up, northwestern Pike County. There could be a tornado warning coming for you for the storm coming out of Crenshaw. The Weather Service watching that with great interest right now. But a strong core of wind. No severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery County, but I can tell you there's quite a bit of wind now with this whole cluster of storms.
Montgomery Pike tornado warning.
So that's for southeastern
Hot
Montgomery County.
Yeah.
Yep, let's clear the
radar
board here momentarily.
You want to go down to just that one? Focus on just that one? Okay.
Looks like it's not on the screen yet.
There it is.
Yeah.
So Orion, Troy Airport, north of downtown Troy, just north of the heart of Troy, Josh, along 231, and then far southeastern Montgomery County. It looks like there you have it. Let's. What are you interested in here? Do you wanna,
SRV.
Let's do SRV. Wow.
Oh goodness. CC that. That's probably on the ground. Not quite yet, but boy, I will tell you this. We can't say it's on the ground yet, but I think a tornado is going to form at any moment now, if it hasn't already. North of Crenshaw, in northern Crenshaw County, north of Laverne. It is pouring rain here right now, by the way.
Shear rate is still up. Velocity is about as high as
it is. Just, I think it's wound up.
Right on 331 here, north of Laverne.
Wound
Fuller's
up.
Crossroads, it is pretty much over you, just south of you.
So Live Oak, Petrie, Plattsburgh, take cover right now. We've been talking about this storm for a long time now, but this is going to go straight on up. If you live along Sims Road, if you live along County Road 50 from Plattsburgh, stretching back to Fuller's Crossroads, if you live along Farrier Road, Dry Lake Road, County Road 59 over here from Petrie back south to Plattsburgh, Bodiford Pool Road, south of there, you have a likely tornado. So really we'll kind of, I think with tornadoes you can say if they're possible, they're likely, or they're confirmed. We'll upgrade this to now tornado likely. We can't confirm it yet, but I think a tornado is likely in this area, if not on the ground already. So we'll keep checking the tornado debris algorithms here, see what we see. Let's zoom out and see if that's new that just popped up there on the north end of Laverne.
Petrie, maybe?
Hard to say.
But that's too far away.
Too far away, yeah.
I will say, for those in the back, if you can get rid of Bullitt County on the bottom there. Bullitt County has now been cleared of a tornado warning. It's going to be Crenshaw, Montgomery, and Pike. Wow,
so the Pike County tornado warnings for this storm right here. Live Oak, Petrie, Plattsburgh right now. Down the road, what just happened to that camera? Oh, someone's moving it. Okay. I thought it got force down towards the ground. It did not. This goes over into Pike. So Briar Hill, Orion, if you live near the Lockheed Martin facility, if you live along 231, if you live near the Troy Airport, if you live near Sikorsky Aircraft, if you live near and north of the Pioneer Museum in northern Pike County, go ahead and go through that tornado safety plan right now. You've got a likely tornado now that has just crossed 331 north of Laverne, movement here towards the northeast. So Live Oak to Petrie, getting it now. Let's put a storm track on this one, Tyler.
Sure. Yep, let's go ahead and do it. I believe 55 miles an hour ought to do it for us. To the northeast, we'll go ahead and stop it right there.
Shellhorn, next 10 minutes, northwest side of Troy. So the Troy Airport, Orion area, 1110 to 1115. That would include those landmarks I just named. That would be Sikorsky Aircraft. That would be Lockheed Martin. That would be 231 North. There's the barbecue house there on the right side of the road if you're southbound towards Troy. Those would be some of the larger landmarks in this general part of the world here. If it holds together long enough, this will also probably threaten Bullitt County too. As far as Troy is concerned, I think there is a good chance the circulation will go north of downtown Troy. Still, that being said, the tornado warning polygon as drawn does include parts of the city of Troy.
A tornado warning, tornado possible over Wetumpka. Tornado warning Elmore County for those in the back. Tornado warning Elmore County. Yeah, wow, look at that, Josh. Right over Wetumpka. There we go.
I want to clear, and I don't know why.
You want to zoom into Wetumpka real quick?
Yeah, let's
just to catch everyone up.
So,
look at that.
Possible tornado on the south end of Wetumpka. Let's take the camera. That's right. That's very close
absolutely.
to the camera. It's the Wind Creek Casino and Hotel. We're not going to see much of anything. It is a complete wall of water here in downtown Wetumpka. This is the Wind Creek Casino and Hotel via the Health Star camera network. Possible tornado now south side of Wetumpka.
If you could face it south, I believe this might be facing north. I'm not sure. When I see this red light, I almost think it's north, but I'm not 100% positive. Hard to tell where we're at. You're not going to see much, though, I don't think, with this. But wow, that is not fun to be out in. The rain is very heavy. You're getting very strong wind atop the hotel casino there.
You just can't see it.
Can't see
it's
anything.
A wall of water. I mean, I think we can leave it up for a little while longer and see. I think we've now gone.
We're now spinning
all
around
the way around.
That is also radar indicated. CC, I see CC. John DeBlock gave us a CC from National Weather Service in Birmingham. I'm going to assume it's that.
All right, so tornado on the ground, Wetumpka. Take cover right now. Harrogate Springs Road, there it is. We've got a confirmed tornado now on the ground on the southeast side of Wetumpka. It's right here.
Confirmed,
so That's Harrogate Springs Road right there. This is moving towards the kind of east-northeast and on that trajectory. So downtown's up here. There is your confirmed tornado. This is going to move east-northeast. So Galloway Drive, Fire Tower Road, you would be next. So that's the next kind of landmark here. There's VFW Road. This is 231 running back out on the kind of through Wetumpka. Downtown Wetumpka is back over here. So this is your confirmed tornado right here. There you see it. Debris signature showing up right there on the southeast side of Wetumpka. And Tyler, tornado on the ground now in Elmore County.
Headed right for Claude. If Claude is a landmark on the map that you're familiar with, if you live near State Route 14, of course, your way if you're going to Lake Martin from Montgomery and you split off on State Route 14, that is going to really parallel State Route 14, Josh. That little drop in the correlation coefficient, that would be the actual tornado lifting debris into the air, heading right for Claude, which needs to be in their safe place. Yeah, wow, look at that jump. So when we talk debris detector, that's what we're looking at when we look for a tornado on the ground. So that is lifting debris, whether it be structures, trees, a combination of the two. Debris is in the air, and it's paralleling State Route 14. If you know anyone in Elmore County, east and northeast of Wetumpka, they need to be in their safe place right now. There is a tornado on the ground doing damage. Pleasant Hill Road, County Road 195, Georgia Road, Collie Road, or Calloy Road. You need to be in your safe place. Claude Road, Mullins Road. If any of these roads are familiar to you and any loved ones, you need to take shelter immediately or let them know that they need to take shelter immediately. Tornado doing damage actively on the ground, just east-northeast of downtown Wetumpka.
So this would be, this is Georgia Road, the split off right here. There's a service station right there. As you go out on 14 out here, There's Bush's restaurant, service stations out here. Then on the right side of 14, there's a big, beautiful house with long fence. Looks like a horse farm. If you're familiar with that landmark, this is going to be right in the path of that, maybe a little north of it, but this is going to slide right along and maybe just parallel Alabama Highway 14, which stretches from Wetumpka back over towards the Tallahassee area. So if you live from Wetumpka to Claude, get in your safe place right now. This is a threatening situation. Your life could be in jeopardy here in central Elmore County. Fire Tower Road is the next big road this is going to cross. In fact, it's probably on it now. Let's throw up the SRV real quick here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there is your tornado. The circulation is there. Not as tight as it was, but still there. So hopefully this is a tornado that is not on the ground for long, but we can't confirm this has touched down on the south side of Wetumpka, and it is now moving again towards Fire Tower Road, paralleling Alabama Highway 14, moving in the general vicinity of Claude and Flea Hop. If you live in the Flea Hop community, you're in the tornado warning polygon. Claude Flea Hop Road, that's a kind of a big landmark out there. Claude itself, Georgia Road, you're in the polygon as well. So,
and if you're down the road, Eclectic and Kent, if you're farther than where that current circulation is, it's possible it lifts, it's possible it stays on the ground, it's possible it lifts and then goes back down to the ground very fast. So that's the Elmore County situation. We also have, of course, the tornado warned storm, Josh. Crenshaw, northeastern Crenshaw, getting into northern Pike now, north of Troy, stays north of Troy.
Yep, definitely will. That's going to head up towards Orion, Lockheed Martin. The Montgomery-Pike County line would be kind of in the path of this as well. That one, to this point, to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything to confirm a tornado there. But we'll pop in here, throw up the CC.
Hard to tell.
It's hard, yeah. It's messy. There could very well be, or have been, some tornado debris in this. But that, if you have a tornado, it's going to be right out here. Still in Crenshaw, technically.
Right over Petrie.
If you have a tornado, it's right over Petrie. Again, this is if. We don't know that there is a tornado with this specific storm. We think there could be, though, and we think you need to take protective action here if you live along the Pike, Crenshaw County line. The good news for Crenshaw County, you're almost done. This storm is about to be through you. And the news behind this storm, you've got this line right here. So a risk of damaging wind within the line itself coming into Crenshaw County. But after this passes, it's over. It's done. Now, one thing we've really got to hit home here, I think there is a very good chance of damaging wind gust here in Crenshaw County, even away from the tornado. Moving through Butler now. So Greenville to Laverne, back down to Brantley, damaging wind threat very high there at this point in time, Tyler.
Yeah, and that needs to be treated seriously as well. You're getting a damaging wind threat in areas that have already gotten a lot of rain and other gusty winds, so trees might be weakened a bit as this comes into Crenshaw, northern Covington. So that's a severe thunderstorm warning for those folks, and we are watching severe thunderstorm warnings for our southern and southwestern counties because severe thunderstorms can be serious. Just because it's not a tornado warning doesn't mean you can't get damaged. So we are not ignoring the severe thunderstorm warning, but we have tornado warnings, Josh. That's why we are on the air. And the Wetumpka storm did produce a tornado without a doubt, but we are getting word that it may have already
lifted. Check out the SRV, though.
I'm not sure.
There you go. So there is still debris lofted into the air with this.
There's your update. Okay, now it looks less impressive.
We think it is probably not on the ground anymore. And that's common. These tornadoes that are embedded within these lines like this, they often last 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. That is probably what happened here. A tornado touched down on the southeast side of Wetumpka, moved up in the general direction of Fire Tower Road, and then lifted. We know it has done some, it has hit something, we know. Whether that something, though, was trees and pine straw or, God forbid, someone's home, that part we don't know yet. So that's the situation there. The tornado warning continues. We will still urge you to stay vigilant here. If you live around Eclectic, Claude, Cotton, Central, Kalijah, still stay in that storm tornado safe place just to be safe. But we can't confirm a tornado on the ground anymore with that storm, thank goodness. Then we've got this situation. That is, again, we think a tornado could drop from this storm at any minute now.
And we also, Josh, I want to just say this. We mentioned that line blasting into Crenshaw and Butler. They are issuing an 80-mile-an-hour tag for straight line winds on that, which is, I believe, for a severe thunderstorm warning, 80-mile-an-hour winds is near the top of what they would issue You don't see that very often.
So we're talking about this right here.
That bow, that apex right there,
That's going to cause some damage down in Crenshaw County. So straight line wind damage, we think, is a very likely scenario within the next hour here, within the next 20 minutes at Laverne, Rutledge, Fuller's Crossroads, Brantley, and maybe even Dozier. And then down into Covington County, up around Gant Lake, Strawn, Red Level, River Falls, north of downtown Andalusia, they're probably going to get into some of that as well. So now some good news. When this line passes, that's it. This is it. Once this line goes through, you're done. So
we've cleared Clark and Wilcox, it looks like.
Yeah.
And we are working on clearing Autauga and Lowndes. For the city of Montgomery, I think, honestly, the risk of severe weather, it lasts about another 15 minutes here in the city of Montgomery itself. And even that is confined to the far southern and eastern reaches of the city. From downtown Montgomery points west, this is done. So the news is mixed. There's good news, there's bad news, but we know we're dealing with a large swath of potentially damaging wind moving out of Butler and into Crenshaw, and then potentially a tornado. Click on that. Interesting. 2 separate polygons now in Elmore. Did that re-strengthen? Still being observed. Still listed as observed. I wonder if that's that new polygon. The smaller one is the fresh one,
sure
south of Eclectic there. Yeah.
So they've redrawn it because the way these QLCS.
So Kalijah, South Lake Martin, you are out of the polygon. Yeah. This would be Eclectic, between Eclectic and Tallahassee. Yeah.
Highway 14 would be in this. 229. Looks like it'd be on the south end of it, but still close enough. So east of Wetumpka, really from the east end of Wetumpka to Eclectic to Friendship, there in Elmore County, there remains the risk of a brief tornado. And that's what we're dealing with here today, guys. This is not going to be, last week we dealt with 20 tornadoes across the state, had several EF2s. Probably won't be the case this time. This will be more of you have 2 or 3 or 4 tornadoes scattered around.
The destructive wind threat for Butler, Crenshaw till 11:45.
So they just canceled the tornado warning for Crenshaw.
80-mile-an-hour wind threat for Crenshaw and Butler as that Boeing signature pushes in. So, and that's the same strength as a smaller or weaker tornado. So that can be very problematic as well. We are not ignoring the damaging wind threat, but we have possible tornadoes here.
Just really
the fact that this hasn't gone observed or radar confirmed.
Yeah, I've been checking it constantly here on the CC, and
we're not missing anything.
It's not there yet.
If it was there, we would see it. We're going back and forth.
Yeah. And sometimes they do this. Sometimes storms spin like a top right above the ground, and they don't produce tornadoes. In fact, I don't mind that. It's when they hit the ground that we start to disagree.
You almost got to wonder
whoops,
how intense that rotation. There's
accidentally zoomed in on Smut Eye.
Low level, shout out. Low level rotation, though, is very strong, very stout in far northern Pike, getting close, Josh, to Orion and 231 there.
Pull up the Troy camera if you don't mind, and I'll dive in here and we'll
see if we can aim it north.
See if there's anything we can see here, and I don't know that there is, but
never hurts to try.
Right.
Still nothing coming out of the Pike County storm in terms of confirmed, but
HealthStar Camera Network in Troy will just sort of
play a game here, find the tornado if you can find it.
Yeah, right. So far I found some metal.
Well, that's a good start.
Strong start.
Wow, lots of metal.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Does this camera have a north?
It may not have much of a northern perspective.
In the back, our good friend and producer Michael Shipma let us know it does not have a north preset.
I was hoping we might could.
Boy, you almost feel like if there was an ability, we could see something because there's no rain blocking the camera looking into the north, but lo and behold.
If ifs and buts were figs and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brandon Kopic is near Orion.
Yeah, let's take his feed.
Let's do that for sure. Let's take it full, actually, if you don't mind, in the back there. Unless it froze, then we might have to hold on that. Looks like it's frozen. Yeah, that's a bad cell phone service kind of area. Look at that. Birmingham cancels Autauga and Lowndes from the tornado watch, and they cannot explain the polygon behavior in Elmore. Boy, if they can't explain it, then Good luck.
Mama said there'd be days like this. So they're not exactly sure what's happening there with the polygons. So what we'll do, we'll just say Elmore County, this part of the, if you're in this part of the line from Eclectic and Cotton back down to Tallahassee, just stay in that tornado safe place another few minutes. I think we have Brandon's feed. Let's take that full. This is Orion down in Pike County. This is Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic. He's done a lot of work with us over the years. He was down here the day Beauregard was hit. This is his live feed in the Orion area. Orion is in northwestern Pike County. So you're looking live now at a live feed coming to us out of Pike County. It is for the tornado-warned storm that is approaching Orion right now. We've been tracking this one on radar all the way back into Butler and Crenshaw County, and it has exhibited fairly intense signs of rotation at times. We have not yet confirmed a tornado with this specific storm. That could change at any moment, though. It is still showing significant signs of rotation. In fact, look there.
Correlation coefficient in Pike.
We can now finally confirm a tornado.
There it is. Briar Hill, just between Briar Hill and Meeksville, Orion.
So this will be tornado on the ground, northwestern Pike County now. So we're up to 2 confirmed tornadoes at least here. This is west of 231, but moving quickly towards it. There is your tornado debris signature right there. Movement towards the east-northeast. This is going to go right towards Orion. So, Brandon, if you can hear us, this thing's on the ground, and it's moving in your general direction. So please.
Yep. He cannot hear us.
Please be careful. He can't hear us over the phone. He may have us pulled up on the app, on an app or something, though. So
it's going to clip, it looks like, Josh, far southeast Montgomery, and then go back into Pike.
So that's a big road he's coming up on there now. He must have cut over. That's got to be 231.
Yeah, it's a divided highway. Yeah.
So he's there in Pike County along 231.
Confirmed tornado located near Ansley, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour.
Hauling, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Check out the SRV again.
Absolutely.
So that's it right there.
There it is.
Got a confirmed tornado
Montgomery
on the
Pike
ground.
County line.
Yeah, and by the way, this is going to hit parts of Montgomery County. It's not moving due east. So Brandon is probably coming back and going to go north on 231.
He's going to see it. If it's going to be there, he's going to have it. And he might be looking northwest towards it right now.
Yeah, he just stopped.
Just northwest of Orion. Yeah, he's looking right into what would be the inflow and possible tornado here. You might have some rain, though, that might block his view, but we'll see.
And based on where he was earlier, I suspect he probably came up I-65, got off around Davenport, and cut back down through Montgomery County. We may have seen him finish his drive on 94. He may be sitting right here at that intersection of 94 and 231. Now, that's speculation. I can text him and find out. But so he's right in the path of this. So we'll keep his feet up. He's at the intersection of 94 and 231.
Smart man you are.
Hey, context clues, right? Secret to life. So we have a storm chaser positioned in the field right now, right there. And the possible or the confirmed tornado is right over here, so we'll just watch his feed
right over Moore Road, by the way. If you're looking for roads, State Route 94, Moore Road. Yeah, there's your new radar update.
New radar scan. So
Wingard Road.
Brandon is right there. Your confirmed tornado is somewhere in this area. Wingard Road, Moore Road, he just named them all.
Extending tornado warning into Tallapoosa and Lee County, Josh. We cannot catch a break here. Well, we've got a tornado on the ground, though, in southeast Montgomery.
Southeast Montgomery County. So this has gone just south of, by the way, Conestead Hollow. So Steve Cohn, our engineer, that's his name. So this has gone just south of his home.
Wow.
Close call there.
If he's got any cameras on his home, that would be interesting if they're looking in the correct direction. But that's a confirmed tornado, and they are mentioning the National Weather Service a hint of CC, which would be a debris signature in eastern Elmore, so they're extending that warning to Tallapoosa and Lee, which I'm assuming is going to pop up any moment. It could be any one of those dots there, couldn't it? Yeah.
It's hard to say. You'd almost really need to 4-panel it or 2-panel it where you could make sure it was matched up with the correct reflectivity. So again, I would just say I think we had the right idea. If you're anywhere in this part of this line, from north of I-85 up to Lake Martin, so anywhere in this area, just go ahead and treat this like you're under a tornado warning, because we're not going to be able to track a circulation minute after minute after minute in a situation like this. There are going to be transient rotations that form and die down and form and die down. And a lot of times by the time they show up on radar, they're already on the ground and back up. So moral of the story, if you live in southern Tallapoosa County from Dadeville south, western Lee County, west of downtown Auburn, eastern Elmore County, Eclectic, Tallahassee, Friendship stay in that tornado safe place through about 11:45.
Tornado warning issued. Yep, there's the official. And they're still listing it as observed in far eastern Elmore, Josh. And
may very well be.
That very well could be on the ground. So if you're between Lake Martin and Tallahassee, you need to be on the ground. Look at that. Let's take that shot live. Orion there looking northwest. How about that?
So this is Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic. He's looking back into what has been a confirmed tornado with debris noted. This would be in northwestern Pike County near the Orion area. You can see there clouds obviously swirling. There is a significant amount of rotation in the air here as we look around. So far, I have not seen anything structurally in that storm that screams tornado on the ground. But we're limited here. We've got rain, we've got trees, we've got cars. That looks like a base lowering right there. Actually, now that he's panned to the left a bit, you can see the better definition, the backlighting there on the left side. That's probably that looks like a base lowering or perhaps a large wall cloud there on that storm. So this is in the Orion area of northern Pike County.
And it's still showing up on radar, Josh. Is debris in the air, velocity product is stout.
Oh wow!
Very tight rotation. That is absolutely on the ground in southeast Montgomery County.
So this would be crossing 94 right now. So this is just a little north of him. Most likely. If he's at the intersection of 94 and 231.
New tornado warning for Bullock and Montgomery. That's for this storm. Located near Pine Level. Tornado producing storm. Confirmed still on the ground. There's your new warning polygon. So Bullock County, Union Springs west and north. Be in your safe place. Far eastern and southeastern Montgomery County. Tornado safe place. Look at that. It almost looks like you've got two. That's very interesting.
Pop in the reflectivity there and see what it looks like. Ooh, yeah.
You might have. Oh, that's interesting. That kind of dropped off a little bit there, didn't it?
It did.
Shear rate still very much there.
What's the base velocity look like? Elongated area.
Elongated. That could be debris just getting kind of lofted into
the base velocity instead of storm relative. See what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, go back to reflectivity if you don't mind. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
So yeah, kind of possibly two separate areas of rotation here. I think you've got kind of something like that.
Yep, might be cycling out.
Kind of occluding, the original circulation occludes, because that's where the initial tornado started.
And that may have been why on Brandon's feed we only saw a wall cloud. It may have already have lifted and you've got a new circulation forming, which he may not see.
Right, check the CC again.
Sure. Still very much evidence of debris. Very, very much evidence of debris in the air there, right along 231.
Very large debris signature there.
Absolutely. Boy, what a mess. A lot of warnings here. Bear with us. We'll get to the storms whenever. We'll get to all the storms. We'll get to all the concerning
So here's that other tornado warning that Tyler was telling you about. This one for southern Tallapoosa County and the far northwestern part of Lee County. This does not include Beauregard, Auburn, Opelika, Smith Station. This would be up on the northwest end of the county here for a storm that's right now in Tallapoosa County. Possible tornado here passing just on the south end of Lake Martin. So this is Alabama Highway 50 right here. That's Cherokee Bluffs. Martin Dam sits right here. There's Bama Park. So Center Point Road, Chuck's Marina would kind of be on the far northern end of that polygon. And then back down to the south, Reeltown makes up the southern end. It's really right around Walnut Hill right there. There's a greenhouse right there. There's a service station right there. That's the intersection of 49 and 50. So 49 runs north to south. This is 50 going back east and west. Your possible tornado is crossing 49 right now. South of the intersection with 50, it's going to keep on moving towards the northeast in the general direction of Waverly and the northwestern corner of Lee County. So central, kind of south central Tallapoosa County on the south and southeast side of Lake Martin. You need to take cover right now. Lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. The good news is this is it. Once this clears, you're done.
Shear, wow. Look at that shear rate.
Pretty intense. So strong signs of rotation just south of Martin Dam. We'll zoom in here.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
road, 50 takes you over. You can see the dam from Highway 50 back up here. The dam is roughly between the letters O and K in Cherokee there. So this would be just south of Martin Dam. There's Gold Mine Road right there. It's very close to that. So this is going to cross over the Tallapoosa River south of Martin Dam within the next few minutes.
There you go. I would reckon that's got to be a tornado doing damage in far.
I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Looks noisy.
Looked like it could. Does it match up, though? Let's check where you have that. So just east of the hat on the T. Let's see if it matches up with velocity. Well, it was. Maybe not.
I think that may be noise.
Maybe no, yeah. But, rotation is still
It's still
strong.
rotating.
Yeah.
And honestly, if this part stops rotating, another part could start. So
Yep.
that's why this part of the line is in a fairly impressive shear environment. Not a lot of instability, not a lot of moisture return up there, but enough to where you need to take it seriously. You need to stay in that tornado safe place. Again, that would be central Tallapoosa County. Let's broaden back out here.
Sure.
We've talked about that storm some. Let's get back down to the southern storm. And again, if we stop talking about the storm that's affecting you, we won't keep doing that. We have to cover both of them. We have people relying on us in both areas. So we are not ignoring anyone. We are trying to serve everybody as best we can. So still a tornado. Check the CC on that. The signature there. Still producing
there.
some debris. What's the reflectivity look like? It's messy and just about to get overtaken by the line. So this storm, if we can keep it off the ground, hopefully it's lifted, but we can't confirm that.
That 11:30 time you gave it.
That'll be about right.
Your time's almost up there.
Yep, and that northern cell has already been overtaken by the line. The original Wetumpka tornado producer, that one's being overtaken by the line in Tallapoosa right now. So that goes away soon. As soon as the line catches up to this one, then we will just deal with the line itself. Now, the line itself will keep on racing towards the southeast. In effect, Pike, Barber, Bullock counties, Montgomery, Macon, Russell, and Point South especially kind of get, I think, the core of the line there. But if you're behind this line, it's over. The risk of severe weather, let me go to the home view here. If you live anywhere west or left of that line I just drew, you're done. So Montgomery, the city of Montgomery, the risk of severe weather is over. Prattville, Selma, Demopolis, Camden, Clanton, Rockford, Titus, Weoka, Slapout, Billingsley, Pine Level, Marbury, Lounsboro, Leadahatchee, Greenville, Miller's Ferry, Nanophilia, Sweetwater, Linden. It's over. It's all east of this line where we have the ongoing severe weather problems with a few pockets of damaging wind and some isolated tornado issues so far. Got a power update there.
Yeah, just as of 11:30 a.m., so it's about 11:20 now. So about as of now, 3,800 Alabama Power customers without service in central Alabama as a result of the severe weather. Montgomery County, about 2,000. Butler, Elmore, 600 apiece. Wilcox, 400, and fewer than 400 in Dallas and Autauga. Of course, once it's safe to do so, power will be attempted to be restored there. Here you go. Great tool. Love this tool.
Pretty
brand
accurate,
new,
it would seem.
Great tool from the Barron technology here from our friends up in Huntsville. Josh, this is great stuff. Power outage numbers, not a crazy amount, but there's still some out there, likely some wind damage, perhaps tornado-related damage causing power outages. There you have it. Of course,
if you're one of them, it's no fun.
a big deal. Exactly.
Whether there's one power outage or 10 million, if you're one of one, it's still no fun.
Just because it doesn't touch your house does not mean it was not an event for the area as a whole. So just remember, it's a big deal if it hits you. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. But this is certainly impacting many folks. Looks like National Weather Service in Birmingham is going to issue a large severe thunderstorm warning for Barber, Bullock, Elmore, Macon, Montgomery, Pike, Russell, due to gusts that were reported at Montgomery Regional Airport. I'm assuming that the airport, that's what we heard here at the studio in downtown. I'm guessing that very strong wind gusts.
Here, I'll pop up.
Sure. Check what we had with those.
Yeah, I want to see what that max gust wound up being.
Because if they're prompted
Additionally,
looks like we have Brandon in. So we're in boxes here. Josh is trying to get up and look at the. All right.
Sykes and Con.
That's where we're looking at. Sykes and Cons there, North Pike County, right at the Montgomery County line. Brandon Kopic, our storm chaser along Highway 231 with a storm that had a tornado on the ground and could still very well have one on the ground as it moves into far southeast Montgomery into western Bullock County. You've got, Josh, just kind of, if you're just joining us, if you haven't been with us much, line of storms. Within the line will exist the potential for damaging winds, 60, 70 miles an hour. Embedded within the line will also exist spins and little circulations that could cause quick, short-lived tornadoes. And the storms that ahead have caused this issue so far getting ingested into the line as we speak, and soon it will just be the line causing a damaging wind threat. Huge severe thunderstorm warning polygons, by the way, because of that risk with the line coming in. the wiregrass that's coming for you guys eventually, and then tornado warnings for some circulations embedded within the line. That's the latest, and this is all surging east and southeast here. So maybe 3 hours, by 3 this afternoon, it should be clear of everyone in our viewing area, if not before, well before.
Yeah, it's racing on out for sure. We just the line in here is really what's the line and the storms ahead of it. If we can get those to overtake, I think we'll be in a better place than we are now.
That's good news. I will say the rotation has certainly weakened as that storm is now in Bullitt County.
What's the CC look like on that? There, but let's animate that.
Much messier than it was. That's definitely a part of it.
Still there, but it's probably getting blown, kind of dispersing now.
Any debris that was in the air, whether it be tree debris or vegetation, likely being kind of
blown
by the winds
away
aloft
from the storm.
Let's see if we canceled any. What'd you get for a Montgomery wind gust?
44.
44.
But that was at the airport. They may have found some additional data sources to kind of warrant that large severe thunderstorm warning. So tornado warning continues northern Pike, eastern Montgomery County, northwestern Bullitt County. Stay in that safe place, lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. The radar presentation on this storm, it's still there. It is still rotating.
Looks like, Joshua, expires and cancels tornado warning for Elmore, Montgomery, Pike.
So that's all of them, isn't it?
Bullock would still be in there, I believe, because that storm is firmly in Bullitt County. And then that leaves Tallapoosa and Lee and Bullitt County. And I was just told in my ear here we have some pertinent information simulcasting right now on Hot 105, Magic and Hallelujah in Montgomery. They are simulcasting WSFA right now. General manager wanted us to get that information out there.
All right.
Important information. We are simulcasting on Hot 105, Magic and Hallelujah in Montgomery. Get the information from us there, and we have some info coming in from Mr. Desmond Wingard in the back.
Some reports from Wetumpka. Trees are down on Harriet Springs Road. They're checking out Fire Tower Road. They think the tornado may have touched down there. Also checking out some reports of possible damage in the industrial park. That is via Wetumpka Mayor Jerry Willis. So
what are we left with?
That's where we are. Yeah, we have an ongoing still tornado warning, Tallapoosa, Lee, and Bullock. Some of these polygons have not yet disappeared, but they probably should because they're on their way out.
Right, absolutely.
We know that Pike is no longer under a tornado warning. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning in Pike for the possibility of damaging wind gust.
There's your possible, I'll let you draw that if you would like with the white marker, crayon, pencil. There's your possible rotation. That is now firmly in Bullock.
And it's broadened out. Yeah. It's not nearly as intense as it was earlier. That makes sense. Farther east you go, the more stable the area is. Yep. And so far today, we have had, we had 2 confirmed tornadoes?
Yeah, just recently,
and then Pike. And both of those, I would say, were probably on the ground for less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then Clark County, which is semi-close. But, well, let's see. More debris in Tallapoosa. The party goes on here, I suppose.
CC showing up, that's the wrong thing. That's not what you want.
Let me know when you're ready for correlation coefficient. That's a mess, isn't it? This is why we have multiple tools.
Yeah.
I guess we animate it.
We'll take their word for it.
Maybe
yeah. So again, the course of least regret here, the play here for Tallapoosa, you've just got to. We are not going to be able to really zero in on a specific pocket or spot here within this. This is one big mess. There are a couple of transient areas of rotation that keep kind of forming. That's one right now. As soon as we start tracking this one for you, it will die out and a new one will pop up to take its place.
And another CC just south of the radar there, outside of the warning. Tornado warning coming. That would be down here. Well, I didn't mean to do that. Josh, just like you, I voiced what you said about that feature. I would assume that's Franklin right there. That might be it.
Check out the CC, see what you get out of that. That is right by the radar. So yeah, we got it looks like a tornado on the ground near Franklin. So this will be along Alabama Highway 49, just north of Elam Baptist Church and the Franklin Volunteer Fire Department. It's moving
There's your new polygon.
Towards Clow.
Let's see where that polygon is, just to get an idea. Here you go. So it is, wow, they extended that one quite far, didn't they? So Auburn and Opelika.
Now
you need to be in
the
your
tornado warning polygon.
Tornado safe place now. It is an observed tornado.
If you're in Lee County, we have a tornado warning that includes you. Now, that said, the storm producing this tornado is still in Macon.
Right.
This is a long fuse warning. Does it survive the entire time, the circulation? Probably not. But even if this circulation doesn't, the overall setup still favors these little brief 1 to 3 minute tornado touchdowns. And they are probably EF0s, EF1s. They're on the ground for 3 minutes, then they lift up. Doesn't sound that bad unless the 3 minutes is you. Then it's a life-changing event, or at least one that you'll never forget. So we got to stay on our toes here. We're almost done here. This is an event that we think is going to be probably winding down by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at the latest. So we're almost through with this. But East Alabama, I need you on your toes. Stay in that tornado safe place. Central Tallapoosa County, northernmost Macon County, and much of northern and western Lee County. Tornado warning in effect for many of these locations. Let's go to the closed, I keep thinking closed caption. Let's go to the CC, correlation code. That's the tornado debris tracker there. And
you've got that one. Without a doubt there, unless that's noise. No, that might be noise.
Turn the reflectivity
Sure.
on, see. Yeah, that's not, it can't be debris, I wouldn't think.
There's no...
The trick here is to look for the CC lowering that coincides with 35 dBz or greater.
Right.
And so pop reflectivity back up. No, I suspect that's not tornado debris there.
Some of this is also messy and jumbly,
Some of this is messy, but the overall idea here is the same.
Yeah.
Up and down this line, if you're in any of these polygons, again, we will be unable to detail down to the street level specific areas of rotation. This setup isn't structured that way. This will be one of these where we'll see a pocket of rotation, it'll drop a tornado, 60 seconds, tornado lifts, then a new one forms somewhere else, on the ground for a minute, minute and a half, lifts, new one forms. So our advice to you, our messaging to you on this is a little more nuanced. If you are in the red flashing polygon, stay in your tornado safe place. It really is that simple, Tyler. It's a broad brush approach, but in this kind of whack-a-mole setup, that's what we have to go with.
Yeah, and some folks, you know, they want to know if it's coming. Well, in this particular instance, if we did that, we would be not doing you a favor, because we would be telling you to go somewhere when we're not even 100% sure the tornado will be on the ground when it gets to your neighborhood.
Right.
But some people want to know in a specific time period, should I go to my safe place now? This time, bear with us. Just go and stay until the warning is lifted. We're not going to be able to give you a window of 2 to 4 minutes. Yes, go there now, then you can come out. It's very, transient is the best word, up and down in terms of the tornado potential within this line. So this time, please just bear with us. And if you're in one of the warning polygons, which the warning would be going off on your phone, you'll be getting alerts on your phone. If you're in that warning, stay in your safe place. Even if we say, and you hear us say the tornado maybe have lifted and you're in that warning polygon, it doesn't matter. It could drop back down at any point. Just with this particular instance, this is one of those where while the warning is in effect, you need to treat it like there's a tornado on the ground, and do that in far northern Macon, the northern half of Lee roughly, and then southern Tallapoosa, and it looks like still northwest Bullock, northwest of downtown Union Springs.
Go back in and look at that.
That looks a little tighter again.
Still rotating now. This would be west of downtown Union Springs. Your possible tornado would be right in here.
Let's see if
so
it's
that's just north of
no
Highway
debris
82.
showing up.
That's just crossed Highway 82 there, west of downtown Union Springs. So this one could drop a tornado at any moment near Hector. It's moving towards the northeast, so this is going to head on up towards Fitzpatrick, and then eventually
back into
southern Macon if it holds together. Which that's always the challenge with these little quick hitters. How long are they something you need to be worried about? And the answer usually varies quite a bit. So there's our possible tornado right here north of Simsville. It's moving up towards State Route 110. Now, Alabama 110 comes out of the southeast side of Montgomery and comes all the way down to Union Springs. So this will cross 110 any minute now between Fitzpatrick and Union Springs. If you live in that part of Bullock County, County Road 165, State Route 110, Fitzpatrick, the west side of Union Springs, Bullock County Road 180. Stay in that tornado safe place, lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. We have a possible tornado right there, passing now just west of downtown Union Springs.
Yeah, and southern Macon County would then, Cotton Valley, Davisville, be on standby for a potential extension of this. If not a tornado on the ground, it could be at any point. And if not that, at least a damaging wind threat here. So multiple warnings flashing, a good chunk of our area is under some sort of warning, whether it be a severe thunderstorm or a tornado. And the tornado warnings are going to go up and down. They're going to go from a tornado on the ground to not on the ground at all to possibly on the ground. I will say, in terms of damage reports, we haven't gotten a lot, but I did just see one 4 miles north of Rutledge in Crenshaw County. Shingles blown off of a home and damage to a storage building. That was 11:06. So that is one of hopefully not many storm reports we get in. But again, it's still ongoing, the event, so we're not going to get those actively perhaps as quick as we would like, because we want folks to only get in and send out reports and observe what's happened when it's safe to do so. So that's why we may be lacking in the storm report department. Either there hasn't been much damage, or we're just waiting for reports to come on in, which, again, we do not want anyone out surveying or looking for things if it is not 100% safe to do so. So active tornado warnings: southern Tallapoosa, northern Lee, the northern half of Lee County, including the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and then northwest Bullitt County, which is just northwest, west and northwest of downtown Union Springs. Those are the active tornado warnings. It looks like with the one in Bullitt County, they adjusted the wording to radar indicated, which is good news. Still hauling there northeast at 55 miles an hour. So that's good news. That text was observed, or radar confirmed, in Bullitt County. It is now simply radar indicated. That's good news. Tornado not on the ground in all likelihood in Bullitt County. Can't say the same with what's going on in southern Tallapoosa, far northern Macon, Josh, into Lee County. And then down there, we may have to watch that, south of Troy.
Trying to spin up a little bit, isn't it? What's the reflectivity look like on that?
Let's go ahead and check that out.
So that's within the line itself.
Definitely a damaging wind risk. Anybody in a warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, or a tornado warning, there is a damaging wind risk with this entire line. Doesn't mean everybody sees damaging winds, but that risk is there with the entire line. Even if you don't see a tornado warning or a tornado, the damaging wind risk is most definitely there with the entirety of this line as it pushes through here. Just seeing if we get any reports.
So strong winds, all of Macon County now, up and down the line, probably 40 to 55 mile per hour winds. Possible tornadic circulation. I think they'll soon probably cancel Tallapoosa. We're not there yet, but that will happen, I think, soon. And then we'll have to watch for any quick spin-ups here coming out of northern Macon and into central Lee County, including downtown Auburn, technically in the polygon. Let me see if we see any more CC on that.
Just checking here to see
if we do. Sort of looks like we do.
Do we? It's not what I wanted to hear.
No, it's
but this does. This right here looks a little suspicious. Just the way
it's that right there, but that's not in the right spot from
which is
kind of
again
a
why we have
perspective.
multiple tools. Always good to have multiple.
See, I don't think that's tornado debris.
Certainly, right over Little Texas, there's some very strong, if not damaging, wind gusts.
Wind on that whole thing. But whether it's on the ground or not, you need to treat it as if it is on the ground. That makes this whole thing, quite frankly, much simpler to do. So here in central Lee County, Auburn, Opelika. Now, a lot of our friends watching us in central Lee County, down in the Beauregard area, the polygon does extend down to close to the school there at Beauregard. So I would encourage you, as a course of least regret, just go through that tornado safety plan. I think odds are very low that a tornado is going to hit Beauregard out of this setup, but they're not zero. So get in that safe spot. This will not be anything like the tornado that hit on March 3rd. This will not be an EF4 huge tornado that's on the ground for 60 miles, but it doesn't have to be to cause problems and to potentially cause big problems. So just if you are in those red tornado warning polygons that include much of Lee County, south central Tallapoosa, back into northern Macon, back into Bullock, if you're inside that polygon, just stay in that safe spot for just a while longer. We've talked ad nauseum now. The line has overtaken every single individual cell. These tornado warnings are not going to last much longer, in my opinion. I think we're going to have to deal with this line as it moves through southeast Alabama. But the tornado warnings, I think, are going to start to kind of fade away, and we're going to see more severe thunderstorm warnings, particularly in east central Alabama. I think once we clear this current set, that's probably it. We'll see, but I think along and north of I-85, once we clear this out, it's probably done.
Sykes and cones on the Montgomery-Pike County line, roughly trailer damage.
Okay.
Courtesy of Bruce and Joy Shepard. The driveway is on Highway 231. That would certainly coincide with where
the rotation
we're seeing debris being lofted. Yep. So confirmed. Again, we're not getting a bunch of reported damage, but we are getting some in.
Just some sporadic reports in there, and yeah, just one of those stormy days. These April systems.
New tornado warning for Bullock, Montgomery, and Pike.
Till 12:15.
Wow. We're just going to keep this going here, aren't we? Is that
it's gotta
Montgomery,
be that
huh?
it's gotta be
there it is.
There.
Yeah, that little appendage there on the back of the line. What would you like to do here?
We'll go back in there.
Let's go into there, and shear rates there.
Shear rate's pretty stout. What's the CC?
You got a little. Wow, that's definitely. I'm going to go ahead and say that's
on the ground.
Yeah, that's got to be. And they did issue it as radar indicated, but boy. There is definitely a little hook there, yeah, for sure.
Turn the TDS indicator on over there. See what you see.
Nothing
popping up instantaneously.
But shear rate is there.
Shear rate's there. The CC's there. So
CC is right where shear rate is maximized. Absolutely.
So odds are good. We have a tornado on the ground out here, southeastern Montgomery County. It's just crossed US 231. Here's Highway 94. Here's 231 running back north. This is Peak Road right over here. This is County Road 28 running back over to China Grove. So this is going to move out of Montgomery County and into Bullock, or far northern Pike County any minute now. So this little panhandle you see right here, that is Pike County. So take cover, China Grove, Salem Road, Meriwether Trail in Pike County, Stills Crossroads, and then over into Bullock County, the High Ridge community, Bread Tray Hill, and maybe downstream even more, but those would be the at-risk areas right now. That northernmost panhandle in Pike County, Salem Road, County Road 256, close to Lockheed Martin, Meriwether Trail, County Road 49. Take cover now. This tornado is on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to be in your safe place. If you're under a tornado warning, and this is just further proof, this wasn't here a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
And like
it
that,
won't be here
it appeared.
In 5 minutes, I bet it won't be here either.
That's why if you're in these polygons,
take them seriously.
Yeah. And if we say it doesn't look like there's one on the ground, but you're in a polygon, stay there, because there could be one on the ground in a matter of minutes.
By the time we're done saying it,
it's already gone.
It could be on the ground and back up.
So Bullock, including Union, I would say Union Springs, the city of Union Springs, be in your tornado safe place. Auburn, Opelika, far northern Macon, and south and southeast Tallapoosa there, Josh. Still showing up. That was definitely a tornado debris signature. Now that we've gotten multiple scans in, I would say that had to have been most definitely a tornado was on the ground. Looks like they canceled the tornado warning for Lee and Tallapoosa.
That's the right call, I think.
Yes, that's good news.
That's a pretty stable environment over there.
So this red polygon
will soon disappear.
Well, I'm wondering if it was the other one that was Tallapoosa and Lee. This one will stay because that's Macon and Lee, I believe.
Right.
So two separate. Okay, so we cannot clear Auburn and Opelika. Lee County is still under a tornado warning, but part of Lee County is out of that warning. Just keep Lee County up. Macon, Lee, Bullock, Pike, Montgomery, if you're in the back. Macon, Lee, Bullock, Pike, Montgomery until further notice. Part of Lee was let go of the tornado warning, but most of Lee is still under that tornado warning, including Auburn and Opelika proper. Along I-85 as well. This is not a good time to go driving, even if you're not getting a tornado. Not a good time to go out, not a good time to be out.
And the news here is not all bad. Let's talk about some good things here. If you live anywhere, well, how about that?
There's that awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to throw that off the Alabama River Bridge. Thank you. Right like that. Live anywhere west of that line, this is done. And I mean done. I don't see redevelopment happening later today.
Not the way the rain is building back, yeah.
So Montgomery, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, Lake Martin, Alexander City, Clanton, Maplesville, Prattville, Millbrook, Marbury, Pine Level, Otaugaville, Billingsley, Selma, Marion, Demopolis, Camden, Greenville, Georgiana, Monroeville. Done with the risk of severe weather. It's over in those areas. It is confined to East Alabama. And even there, I think, a couple of little transient tornadic circulations within the line right now. You have to stay on your toes. Damaging wind, the main concern down here to the south. So couple of transient rotations here, Lee, Macon, back into Bullock. Really where Bullock, Pike, and Montgomery come together, and then a strong damaging wind threat back through Troy, back into Crenshaw County, Covington County, southern Butler County, Monroe County. Then north and west of there, this whole thing is wound down. We're done.
Looks like cancels for Macon. It's good news. Macon has been canceled.
I dig that.
That's always good. They're continuing for Lee, though. Just, I'm assuming, under the impression that a spin-up could happen at any point.
Yeah, this is, I think,
That's
to me, that's what you got to watch. Yeah, we both
and that's
found
not
it.
even in the warning.
Not even in the polygon. So yeah,
Beauregard.
Keep an eye on that. That's
Yeah.
going to head right at Beauregard, and I get it. Everyone there is, you know, I think all of our lives are a little different after that day. So if you live over in Beauregard, you need to be paying attention. And just, I would just play it safe. Get in the tornado safe place, Beauregard. You don't have to stay there long. This is moving fast. Go to your tornado safe place. Stay there until noon, 12:05. Then you probably get out. So. And
Same can be said for Auburn, Opelika.
Yeah,
you got
they're
about
in the polygon.
20-ish minutes in or not in the polygon. I would say Lee County almost as a whole. It wouldn't hurt to just go to your safe place, 20, 30 minutes, get on your phone.
East of downtown Auburn. West of downtown Auburn, I think you're all right. But Beauregard, Opelika, Smith Station, you need to be either moving or very ready to move, depending on your specific set of circumstances. Let's see, it's trying down there.
It is on a part of the line in which would suggest that potential is very much there.
The Barron algorithm there seems to share our concern for it. So we'll zoom you back in here. The tornado warning polygon is flashing red up here. So it runs from Sand Hill, back up Wire Road there into Auburn, up near Grand National, Opelika, Chewacla State Park, and then points northeast from there on up towards the Chambers County line. There is, however, though, a developing area of rotation outside of the official tornado warning polygon. And that pocket of rotation is approaching Beauregard and southern Lee County right now. So we're giving you just the unofficial advice. We're not in the business of issuing tornado warnings, but we will give you the unofficial advice that if you live in Beauregard and in southern Lee County, from Beauregard back down towards Marvin, right along that Highway 51 corridor, as a course of least regret, go ahead and get into that tornado safe place. Just as a kind of an abundance of caution based on a rotation signature that we're seeing there. They're starting to really wind up there south of Sand Hill, approaching Sanford Middle School right now. So we'll go get off the Barron shear right here, go back into the storm relative. Still not overwhelming, but it is there. It's wrapped in rain right now. Very messy signature, but that's in a part of that storm complex that it broadens out right there. There's probably some mid-level. There is some mid-level rotation in this.
Absolutely.
The million-dollar question is, does it drop a tornado? And honestly, with a situation like this, by the time we saw it on radar, it will be too late to warn you. So
cancels Lee County.
Canceled the rest of Lee County.
Yes.
Okay.
3 minutes after they decided to continue for Lee County. So that's the transient aspect of this. Yeah. You think keep the tornado warning, and then a few minutes later you get rid of it. There it is. That's good news. But with this line being a snake-like feature, you can always get areas of rotation that can develop quick spin-up tornadoes, usually on the weaker side of the spectrum. But a tornado is a tornado nonetheless, and damage can be done. So we'll watch the Beauregard area, Smith Station, Phoenix City,
that one still gives me some indigestion, man.
Yeah, I would watch. I mean, that could quickly spin up. We've seen it already.
Right. So, and again, we're not saying anything negative about the National Weather Service at all. I think that's probably the right call. We're just saying by the time this showed up on radar, we might not be able to give you much warning. So I would encourage you, southern Lee County, just stay really close or in that tornado safe place. You don't have long, by the way, until this is over. This will all be done pretty soon. In fact, when this line clears, it's over. So Beauregard, Marvin, 25 minutes from now, this is all a distant memory. So talk more about them in a minute. Let's take you back down here. We have another tornado warned storm. This one coming up through Bullock County. Easier to probably see using the storm relative velocity data here. And there you see it.
Cancels Montgomery and Pike, but keeps Bullock and is listing it still as observed in Bullock.
What's the CC look like? It's my mom.
Hey,
should I tell her I'm
those
busy?
are important phone calls.
Sometimes.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get from
Sometimes
Mom.
not as important.
But they are still listing Bullock as observed.
So they call it, is it that right there?
I'm going to assume it's
Yeah,
that.
it's back in that
They
tail end.
cut Pike and Montgomery out, so that's good news, which, if that is actually true.
So that's the new polygon right up here.
Yeah.
So they're not
that.
They're worried about something up here.
Which I don't. I mean, at any point along this,
You could drop one.
Right.
Yeah. So again, it's the same as what we're talking about in Lee. There's enough wind shear over this line right in this exact moment. What is that?
Oh, just the cancellation
Continues and
of
cancels. Okay.
Yeah.
There's enough shear over the line right now to where it could spin one up with little or no advance warning. So if you live in, again, I would say Bullock County and up into southern Lee, I would still want you kind of near a safe spot anyway, just as again, a course of least regret here. Probably some strong wind. You can almost see it kind of eddying up a little bit there within that. So even if there's no tornado, there's probably some strong wind, almost a little miniature Boeing segment up there, approaching Beauregard and Sanford Middle School from the south.
And as we very well know, as we preach, strong wind, if it's not a tornado, can still cause problems.
Still give you some issues.
That's why you got these severe thunderstorm warnings along the line, because severe thunderstorms are still, it can be problematic here. So it's coming. If you haven't gotten it yet, Andalusia, Carolina, Opp, Elba, Enterprise, Ozark, Phoenix City, Eufaula, Clio, Louisville, Union Springs. It is coming. It will be a line that impacts everybody in our viewing area. So everyone will see it. That looks, so he's in Union Springs.
Brandon there.
Maybe struggling with service.
It would seem that way.
Which, boy, this is not the best part of the world for storm chasing when it comes to needing service, is it?
It's not. The trees don't help either.
No.
What's that video right? What do we have on the
Yeah,
big monitor
we see
right
a
now?
tree down with trucks.
Some tree damage.
Someone in the
Anybody
back.
know?
Fire Tower Road in Wetumpka.
Okay.
We'll get that up in a second.
So this was, you're about to see some, or you're seeing it now. This is tornado damage along Fire Tower Road in Wetumpka. This is in Elmore County, just outside of downtown Wetumpka on the southeast side of Wetumpka. So this was from a very brief but confirmed tornado that touched down there on the east side of town. Did some tree damage there, as you can see in the area. Ted, zooming out a little bit there, you can see a couple of trees snapped off there. That had all the makings of one of these EF0 or EF1 tornadoes that's on the ground for 2 to 5 minutes and then it lifts. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, these are brutally hard to warn for, guys. Ted's kind of panning around there. You see some metal lumped along the ground there. That house seems to have been
Montgomery
spared.
and Elmore are clear from the tornado watch.
So the risk of severe weather has now officially ended in all of Elmore County and Montgomery County. Congratulations.
You are the next contestants on Severe Weather Free.
You may hear the next contestants on Go Have a Normal Afternoon.
That's the good news. You still have a lot of your day left. Look at that.
Wet.
This
Very
is
wet
the
afternoon.
True. Very true. But at least
that's good, though, honestly.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll keep the wet weather. It means no severe weather threat later today, in all likelihood.
Mm-hmm. See some power crews there working. And by the way, my goodness, if you get a chance to thank these men and women who are doing the job that you see right here, please do it. I see comments on power company Facebook pages that, man, I don't know that most people understand how hard of a job this is, how dangerous of a job this is, and they do it as fast as they can. And I get it. We all want our power back yesterday when it goes off, but that's not realistic when you have bunches of trees down and issues and damage. So thank the power crews. They are in many ways the first of first responders.
Look at that report. I wonder if anyone knows about that. Multiple large trees and blown transformer in Kent.
That's in Elmore County over by the lake, kind of on the southeast side of the lake. So that would jive pretty well with some of those small CCs we were seeing, but it would also jive with strong straight line winds too. They'll have to survey a lot of this.
Let's see. Cancels tornado watch for Butler, Connecticut, Monroe.
So we're getting there, I promise, we really are. You're looking live now at some damage in the Wetumpka area. This is off Fire Tower Road. That is just southeast of downtown Wetumpka. You'll notice there is quite a bit of a mess there, but when I look at this, I notice what I don't see. And what I don't see is widespread structural damage. What I don't see are, now that looks like someone's storage building that wound up upside down. But, you know, storage buildings are typically not exceptionally well secured to the ground. They usually just sit on blocks. So they are prone to become airborne if you're not careful. See some metal there detached. The fence still standing behind it. The one in the foreground looks like it was crushed by the building itself. So again, this is in Elmore County, some storm damage there along Fire Tower Road on the southeast side of downtown Wetumpka. At this time, we have heard no reports of any injuries in this area.
Great news.
All right, South Montgomery County at the 17-mile marker on Alabama Highway 94. House with some sustained damage, tree lines or power lines and trees down in that area. Some vehicles were blown off the road in the area of U.S. Highway 231 and the Meriwether Trail area. Again, no reports of injuries. Some deputies already in that area. So that's sort of where we are. This is what this whole thing is going to look like. For 99.999% of you, it rained and got windy today. But there are going to be these very small pockets where we had brief, quick tornado touchdowns, and we had damage. Thankfully, we've heard of no fatalities. We've heard of no serious injuries at this point in time. It's 6 minutes in front of noon. We'll hope that trend continues. So the only tornado-warned storm we have left now is Bullock County.
And I wonder, both of these flashing polygons, we're going to
just treat the whole line in Bullock like it's got a tornado.
There you go.
Okay.
So there could certainly be some problems
right
south
there
of Union Springs.
It's probably what we're most concerned about.
Possible tornado, yep.
But even that one's kind of out on the edge of that polygon. So it's...
We'll have to see. And that's exactly it. You
That's
issue a polygon, and then you have a new
do.
rotation area.
Yeah, the Weather Service has the deck stacked against them on days like today. They really struggle. Let's go back into Lee County here momentarily. Maybe not quite that far, but go back in. The rotation we saw earlier has since gone away entirely. So Beauregard, Smith Station, if you went to that safe place earlier, you can come out. We were trying to be very proactive and give you that heads up. Thankfully, that rotation weakened, and we can give you kind of a good report there. Lee County, in fact, no active severe weather warning of any kind. The entire line of storms will be out of Lee County in the not-so-distant future. There you see the line now. It runs from Beauregard back up the valley and Lynette. It's moving quickly east. If you live at downtown Opelika, downtown Auburn, and points west, the threat is already over. East of there, still have a little ways to go before we can get that completely addressed for you and get that storm line completely out of your hair. So we're on the air continuously now for this. It's a tornado-warned storm down here in Bullock County, a pocket of rotation on the south side of Union Springs. Frankly, probably multiple pockets of rotation.
And they're not even in the warning polygons, really.
Well, that's not what we probably wanted.
There's a Bloomfield Street zoom in for you. Looks like we have Union Springs with our storm chaser, Josh. Brandon Kopic is in Union Springs, showing us. Looks like he might just be hanging out in the parking lot, regathering his thoughts. Looks like a Marathon gas station there, maybe fueling up.
So that's a live feed coming to you now from Bullock County.
If we get any, reports of damage or issues, I'm sure he would be right there to let us know. But the warning polygons in Bullock County, quite frankly, don't even include the areas of rotation for the most part.
Right.
So we'll have to see here what the National Weather Service does. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes the entire county pretty much for damaging straight line winds. So just because you don't get a tornado, that doesn't mean you're not going to see any severe weather. Notice really this entire line. This is an Alabama special here today. It's been solely in Alabama for now.
So it seems like we're up to around maybe 4 or 5 brief tornado touchdowns, somewhere in there.
Some more surveying, as if they haven't done enough, the folks at the National Weather Service.
Yeah, they're earning their salary. They always do, but goodness, they have been very busy of late, and hopefully we can get them some calm weather soon. While we have you, by the way, tornado warning continues for Bullock County. That's why we're on the air. You need to be in that tornado safe spot. If there was a specific spot that we could tell you and track and show you, we would do that. Unfortunately, because of the nature of these thunderstorms, there really isn't. There is an elongated area. A tornado could form at any moment, anywhere up and down this line. Notice the Weather Service polygons are lagging back behind it a little bit. So what we do, we may lead you a little bit and suggest out here, Aberfoyle, Inverness, 3-Notch, Enon, those would be the areas where we would need to be paying close attention. Several trees down in Crenshaw County, near Shady Grove, Petrie Highway, near Plattsburgh Highway. Please avoid those areas. So trees down in Crenshaw County, in the Petrie area, Plattsburgh area. So, but again, we haven't heard any reports of injuries in that.
That's certainly a couple of
little pockets.
You never know what's going to.
That's the deal here.
So one of those polygons is now gone. That one, I don't know why that tornado warning is still flashing there. You got to think. I'm assuming they're going to let it go until noon or cancels Bullock. However, there's still.
They only canceled one of the Bullocks.
Right.
All right, they expired the other one.
There they go.
Free at last, free at last.
So no tornado warning. And the last time we said that, Josh, we were...
It lasted about 37 seconds.
Yeah, and then we got on the air for a few hours in a row.
A few hours after that.
So...
Other than that, it went great. All right, so what we'll do, housekeeping-wise, we are just about to start WSFA 12 News at noon. So we will conclude our continuous coverage at noon and transition into our regularly scheduled newscast here in just a few moments. We will, obviously, weather will be the lead story in the news at noon due to the storms that we have dealt with today and the isolated pockets of tornado damage that we have seemingly accrued into the late morning hours as noon approaches. The line of storms is quickly moving out of here, though. You'll notice here it is right here. If you live anywhere left or west of this line, the risk of severe weather has ended. So Auburn, Alex City, Dadeville, Wetumpka, Prattville, Millbrook, Montgomery, Pike Road, Clanton, Billingsley, Selma, Uniontown, Demopolis, Fonsdale, Linden, Camden, Monroeville. You're done. There's no more severe weather for you. This is all over. It rains the rest of the day. It's not a fun day, but the risk is primarily damaging wind up and down this entire line as it races on towards the southeast. So that will be the story moving forward. The good news, again, Tyler, the way this line is moving, I think by the time we get to around 1 o'clock, it will be down here in the Wiregrass, and by the time we get to 2 o'clock, it's out of the state entirely.
Yeah, and that's, when it comes to timing and purposes on forecasts we gave everyone, I would say this has performed similar to what we expected. A line with embedded tornado potential, damaging wind potential. We had the risks out there for you. Hopefully didn't catch anyone off guard. And hopefully we don't get any words of substantial significant damage, injuries, or anything like that. It's not done yet. Some counties are still yet to see anything. But by the time this is all said and done, everyone will have seen heavy rainstorms and strong winds. How many more severe weather warnings? We'll have to see here. And I mirror the National Weather Service in Birmingham here.
They say that was quite a flurry of activity there.
Retweet, ditto.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that's one of those Captain Obvious commercials.
Yeah.
I love John. I'm agreeing with you
yeah.
entirely. But, geez, yeah, it really got we had the warnings flying fast and furious.
Everyone's done with seeing Josh and Tyler and is ready for Bethany.
Yes, absolutely.
Bethany, you ready?
Right. That's probably why my mother was calling, telling me, get off TV. They're tired of you. Okay, so no more active tornado warnings. We will watch the line as it moves east. We're going to take a quick commercial break. WSFA 12 News at noon will begin right after this.